Hello everyone, Gecko here, and I'm on a rescue mission. It seems Blue Mechanical's gone missing, but luckily for us, the brilliant Cheshire Police Force are going to help us find him. Police officers are very brave, and their job is to keep everyone safe and sound. This is Scott. He's a police officer, and he's going to be driving us around today in this amazing police car.
Hey Gecko, when did you last see Blue?
I haven't seen him for a few hours now. I'm really worried.
Hop in, Gecko, and we'll radio the control room to see if they've had any sightings of him.
Scott can use his police radio to talk to other officers when they're far apart. There's a whole team of people behind the scenes who are there to help Scott do his job.
Control from Hotel Tango. Have you had any sightings of Blue Mechanical? He's gone missing.
Yes, we've had a report of him. Sending you his location now. Over.
Phew! That sounds like good news. I do hope Blue is all right. Before we set off, Scott presses this button to turn the flashing lights and siren on. And away we go. The sirens and flashing lights are used to help cars all around see and hear the police coming. It's so drivers can get out of the way and let the police through. And look here, they even have a pop-up sign in the back asking drivers to slow down. Scott is a traffic officer, which means he drives around in this fantastic police car. But Scott, what exactly does a traffic officer do?
Our job on the roads as a traffic officer is to stop people doing dangerous things in their cars and their motorbikes and trying to keep people safe on the roads.
Sometimes Scott and the team have to chase naughty people or get to those who need help. So this car is really fast. And because the police are here to keep us all safe, they're even allowed to go through red traffic lights during emergencies. Look, there he is. Blue, we were so worried about you. Are you okay?
Blue, it's very important never to go off by yourself. You might get lost.
It can also be very dangerous going this close to the water without a grown-up. Remember, you can't swim, Blue.
Come on, Blue, hop in. We'll give you a lift down to the station.
Thank goodness Blue's safe. These amazing cars that helped us find Blue take a lot of looking after too. When we get back to the station, let's head round to the maintenance unit and take a look. A maintenance unit is a bit like Gecko's garage, but this one just looks after police cars. What do you think, Blue? Pretty cool, huh? Now stay out of trouble whilst I have a look around. Connor's checking the oil, and Pat is changing a tyre. It's important to keep the oil topped up in a car, as it makes things slimy and wet, but not in a horrible gooey way, as it actually helps. See, if things start to go dry, like when we have a sore throat, then lots of engine parts become damaged, and then these ace cars won't work properly. This is Tim, and he's a mechanic here at the police car maintenance unit.
Hey Gecko,
What are you doing today, Tim?
I've checked this vehicle over to make sure it's safe to drive. We'll start by doing the lights.
Right Tim, you've got some lights out.
Okay, we better fix them. That's better.
Ouch! Blue, are you okay? To get a better look underneath the car, the mechanics can use this really strong hydraulic lift to raise it up. Hey, guys, can you drop it down a bit? I can't see.
Okay, Connor, just send the ramp down. That'll do there.
Look, underneath you can see the exhaust system, which is how the car controls lots of things, like how noisy it is and how much fuel it uses. It also carries dirty fumes from the engine towards the back of the car. And see here, these springs are called the suspension. This makes the ride along the road less bumpy for the passengers. Wow, there's just so much cool stuff hidden underneath a car. I've loved learning all about this amazing police car and the amazing work that the police do to keep us all safe. Thanks very much to Scott and all the team here at the Cheshire Police. For now, it's cheerio from Gecko. Bye! Hello everyone, Gecko here. I'm here at the tarmac quarry to meet an amazing freight train. Behind me is the locomotive. This is the part of the train that has the engine inside it, and it's where the driver sits. And these are the wagons. Wow! There's loads of them. Look, the locomotive is being connected to that long chain of wagons. These parts are called buffers. Buffers slow down the locomotive and the wagons at the last second and stop them crashing into each other. These big hooks are connected to each other. This is called coupling. These pipes connect the air brakes from the locomotive to the wagons. That's so the train can stop. Blue Mechanical, what are you doing in that wagon? Well, okay, I suppose you can't cause any damage in there. Please just stay out of trouble whilst I go and learn how you drive a freight train. This is Matt, and he's operations manager here. Let's go and have a sneak peek inside the driver's cab. So Matt, how do you drive a freight train?
Right Gecko, thanks for asking. Very, very simply, we have a power throttle here, that makes us go faster. And if we want to stop, we have some braking systems. We have two. One, if we're only a locomotive by ourselves, and the other one if we've got wagons attached. If it goes really wrong, we hit the red button, and this stops us immediately. And for any naughty people we see on the track, we sound our horn to let them know we're coming.
This freight train works really hard, taking special stone all over the country. This stone is used to build houses, roads, and even schools. First, the stone has to be blasted from the ground. Big trucks like excavators and dump trucks work together to move this stone around. The stone is then crushed to make all of the pieces much smaller. But how do they get this stone from the quarry all the way over to the train's wagons? Well, inside these tunnels are amazing things called conveyor belts. They're a bit like magic moving carpets. They carry the stone all the way up and across to where the train's parked. And the conveyor belt finishes here, just above the wagons. The stone falls out of a chute into the empty wagons. Amazing! When each wagon is full, the driver drives the train forwards, ready for the next empty wagon to be loaded up. And that's it. The wagons are all full, so it's time for the train to start its journey. Oh no! I totally forgot. Blue Mechanical's still in one of the wagons. Sit tight, Blue. We'll catch up with you at the next tarmac depot. The train will now travel through this beautiful countryside for 2 hours before it arrives in the city, ready to be unloaded and turned into special building material. Freight trains are amazing because they can carry so much stuff. Over 30 houses could be built from all of the stone carried in this one train. More wagons mean less lorries on the road too, because this freight train carries the same amount as 70 lorries. Wow! And here's the train, right on time. This is the Tarmac Cross Green Depot in Leeds. The train drives along the tracks and into this shed called the Rail Offload Shed. This is Phil, and he's the rail offloader. He can talk to the driver on this walkie-talkie and ask him to stop or go. Once the first set of wagons are in the shed, Phil can empty the stone out. Hop out, Blue Mechanical, before the stone disappears. Woof! Phil pulls these levers, and the doors on the bottom of the wagon open. Wow, that was close, Blue. All of the stone slides out of the bottom, a bit like water going down the plug hole in the bath. The stone falls down below onto another conveyor belt, which carries the stone up and into the tarmac plant, where it can be mixed with other ingredients and turned into concrete or asphalt. That's the stuff that's used to build houses, schools, hospitals and roads. The final step is for big trucks to load up and take the material to building sites, ready for construction. I've loved learning all about the important job that freight trains do. Thanks very much to all of the team at Tarmac for letting us tag along. For now, it's cheerio from Gecko. Bye! Hello everyone! I'm at a racetrack in Spain to meet some really fast racing cars. These Formula E racing cars are special because they're powered by electricity. This is Robin, and this is Sam. They're racing drivers for the Envision Virgin Racing Formula E team. They're also teammates. Their job is to drive around the racetrack in the fastest time possible and hopefully win the race. Today, the team are testing out their cars before the racing season begins. Testing's like practice, and practice makes perfect. But first, we need to put the car together. First, the mechanics cool down the car with dry ice, which is a super cold gas. Then they place the rear wing into position and screw into place. The front nose of the car is attached next. Once the helpful mechanics have put the car together, it's time for the drivers to get ready. Racing drivers wear these big helmets to keep them super safe when out on the track. It connects to a neck guard which keeps the driver nice and secure. They also wear these really smart overalls, which show their team colours. I guess that means I'm in the Envision Virgin Racing team too. Then the gloves go on to protect their hands. After a quick chat with the team engineer, it's time for the drivers to strap themselves into the car. First, Sam jumps in. Then Robin. Both drivers have different helmets, so the team know who's who out on the track. Robin has an orange helmet, and Sam has a white one. Formula E cars have detachable steering wheels. That means they can take them off, so the driver can squeeze into the car and then put them back on again, ready to race. The mechanics do some last-minute checks on the car. And then it's ready to get out onto the track. The pit crew are all part of the same team, and they check that the track is clear. The driver gives a thumbs up to say he's ready, and the crew give him the go-ahead. Both Sam and Robin leave their garages and drive down to the pit lane. We're almost ready to race. Both cars stop at the end of the pit lane and wait to be told to enter the track. If a car is going past, they can't join the track yet, as that would cause a crash. Ready? Set? Go! Ready? Set? Go! This is the bit I've been looking forward to the most. Look how fast these cars can go. In fact, the top speed of a Formula E racing car is 150 miles per hour. That's as fast as the flight dive of a golden eagle. Now the other teams are out on the track. It's time to see who can get the fastest time. This car's misjudged the turn. Whoa, he spun out of control. Can anyone go round this corner correctly? Here's our friend Robin. I hope he doesn't mess it up. Way, he's done it. Well done, Robin. Formula E racing cars are powered by electricity, which means they don't burn any dirty fuel. This is much better for the environment, while still having lots of fun. It also means the cars are a lot quieter than normal race cars. Not only do the drivers have to drive around the track, they always need to be checking their energy levels, car temperature, and they need to be speaking to their engineers, all whilst driving. It's a real team effort from everyone. Look, there's a live map of where everyone is on the racing track. I think we've got the call to go back into the pits. The cars slow down and enter the pit lane. The pit crew come out to greet them. Racing cars don't have a reverse gear, so the team have to push the cars back into the garage themselves. Oof, that looks heavy. That's one in. And here's the other. As soon as the car enters the garage, the crew test the temperature of the car. It's a bit like when your mummy or daddy check your forehead when you're not feeling very well. It's a good way to find out how you're feeling. The car seems a little hot, so it's cooled down with these fans. I think Sam might be hot too. Formula E is a real team game, and it's not just the two drivers that do all of the work. There are more than 50 people in the Envision Virgin Racing team. There's lots of different jobs, like engineers, mechanics, or technicians. The crew have the incredibly important job of making sure the car is the best it can possibly be. And that means looking after it too. The car's worn all its tyres on the track, burning all that rubber on the baking hot road. So we need a fresh new set. This is the control room, home to the clever technicians and engineers. It's their job to keep a close eye on the car whilst it's on the track and come up with new ways to make the car go even faster. It's with these big headsets that they talk to the drivers when they're out on the racetrack. Here comes Sam now. This is his chance to talk to his team and chat about how the car is performing. They all work together to make the car faster so that they can win lots of races. After this meeting, it's time to make some small changes to the car. And then we're back on the track.
Racing cars are super speedy, powered by a battery pack. Electric cars are hard to beat, they whiz around the racing track. Whoa, speeding round and round. Whoa, they're the fastest in town. Whoa, driving really fast, racing cars go zoom as they fly past. Look at the racing drivers, they are sitting really low. They can skid and slide around like a rocket, you should see them go. Whoa, speeding round the track. Whoa, and they're coming straight back. Whoa, driving really fast, racing cars go zoom as they fly past. Just look at them go! Whoa, speeding round and round. Whoa, they're the fastest in town. Whoa, driving really fast, racing cars go zoom as they fly past.
The team will be testing out the cars all day on this track to make sure they are at their best when it comes to race day. I've had a great day here in Valencia with the Envision Virgin Racing Formula E team. Thanks very much to all the team. I hope you've learned as much as I have about these clean energy racing cars. I'll see you again soon. Bye! Hello everyone! Gecko here, and I'm at the RNLI Hoylake to meet a very special type of tractor. This is a launch and recovery tractor, which means its main job is to take this huge lifeboat down the beach and launch it into the sea. These RNLI lifeboats are really important because they rescue people who are in trouble at sea. That means the tractor needs to be able to launch the boat in super quick time. This tractor doesn't have wheels. These are called caterpillar tracks. They're perfect for travelling quickly across the sandy beach and stop the tractor from getting stuck in the mud. Even the trailer's got these special caterpillar tracks. This is called a swan neck, and it's what connects the tractor to the trailer. It can go up and down when launching the boat. And look, up there is the cab. That's where the driver sits. He climbs up a ladder and hops in. Look, amazing crew of the RNLI are launching the lifeboat right now. The tractor's pushing it out of the station and down the ramp to the beach. Wow! Look at it move along the sand. It's really fast. I almost forgot to tell you. This tractor's amazing because it can go under the water. No water gets into the cab because it's totally sealed, a bit like a submarine. Look how deep it's gone. The driver lifts the swan neck, which tilts the lifeboat. Then the boat just slides off. Hooray! The crew of the RNLI are volunteers. They give up their free time to save people who are in trouble, which means they also have to do a lot of training. After the training exercise, it's time for the tractor to come back into the water and recover the lifeboat. The lifeboat's very strong and it's designed to hit the beach at speed. This is the winch. The crew attach the rope from the winch onto the lifeboat. The swan neck tilts the trailer and the winch pulls it on. Amazing! Wow, that's like magic. The trailer can spin the boat around in a circle so that she's facing the right way out to sea for the next rescue mission. The crew are also launching a hovercraft today. A hovercraft is an amphibious vehicle. Do you know what amphibious means? It means something that can go on land and in the water. This is Chris, and he's today's hovercraft commander.
Great to see you, Gecko. Coming into our lifeboat station.
It's amazing inside this lifeboat station. There's so many huge vehicles that are all designed to rescue people who are in trouble at sea.
Gecko, would you like to join us on a hovercraft training exercise?
Oh yes, please, Chris. To stay safe, warm and dry, the crew have to wear this safety gear. The helmet is actually called a Gecko helmet. Can you believe it? It's a real team effort to launch the hovercraft. Push, team! The hovercraft is very heavy, so a big tractor is used to tow it safely down to the beach. Then, it's all hands on deck to unclip the hovercraft from the trailer and pump up the inflatable sponsons, which help the hovercraft float on water. Then the pilot uses the engine to glide back onto the beach. Hooray! Wow, look at all of these levers and switches. It all looks very complicated. Nick is the pilot, and it's his job to fly the hovercraft. To start the engine, Nick turns this key. We can't see them, but underneath the hovercraft are two fans, which blow air downwards. This fills the skirt with air, making the hovercraft lift off the ground. Wowzers trousers! The big fans at the back are called the thrust propellers, and these push the hovercraft forwards. When Nick moves this lever, the rudders at the back move. It's these rudders that steer the hovercraft left and right. Nick makes the fans move faster and the hovercraft glides forwards. Woo, that is amazing! As commander of the hovercraft, it's Chris's job to check all around and give Nick instructions to help him fly the hovercraft safely. It's so fast and it's so noisy. Now I know why these Gecko helmets have microphones and headphones built into them. They allow us to talk and listen to each other. It feels like we're floating across the sand. And just like that, we're on the water. This hovercraft is amazing! It's now time for me to hop off and let the crew do their training exercise. The RNLI is a charity set up to save lives at sea. And these training exercises help the team here get ready for real-life search and rescue missions. So, to be as prepared as they possibly can be, the team practice. Today they're practicing how to rescue someone who is stuck in the mud. Playing in deep mud near the sea can be very dangerous, especially if the tide is coming in. Now that's what I call getting stuck in. Tides are the rise and fall of the levels of the sea. This is something that's happening all of the time, which means that if you're stuck in the mud on the beach, the tide might come in and surround you with water. It's very important to respect the water and make sure you check when the tide is coming in, to make sure you're safe when you're at the beach. Well done, team. Another successful training mission. Oh dear, it looks like the mechanicals haven't checked the tide times, and they're stranded on this island. It looks like there's a storm coming too. Luckily, the hovercraft is the perfect rescue vehicle. Jump aboard, mechanicals. Look how muddy the hovercraft is. All that whizzing about in the sand and sea is dirty work. Every time the hovercraft is called into action, the RNLI crew take great care to make sure it's cleaned up and ready to be used again. Here in the nice dry lifeboat station is the perfect place for the hovercraft to sleep for the night. Thank you very much to the fabulous crew from RNLI Hoylake for allowing me to spend the day with them and their amazing hovercraft. It's been absolutely brilliant. I'll see you again soon. Bye! Hello everyone, Gecko here. Have you ever seen one of these before? It's a concrete mixer. These amazing construction trucks are used all over the world to help build roads, houses, and even schools. But how do they work? And why does this big drum have to spin around? Come on, let's find out. These big trucks are perfect for carrying and delivering a material called concrete. There's some wet concrete on the floor there. Watch out, Blue Mechanical! But what is concrete? Concrete is a mix of sand, water and cement. Cement's a bit like glue. Something amazing happens when you mix these three things together. They become concrete. And when it's dry, it's as hard as rock. Blue, were you paying attention to what I was just saying? Concrete is rock solid when it sets. Oh dear, Blue. It looks like you're stuck fast. This is why concrete mixers are the only trucks that can carry concrete. To stop it from setting and turning rock hard, you have to keep mixing it. This is the drum, and it's where the concrete is stored. Connected to the drum is a gearbox and motor, which spins it this way and that way. Rollers on the other end of the drum keep everything turning nice and smoothly. This part here is called the hopper, and it's where the concrete gets poured into the drum. There's Danny. He's the driver of this truck. He's off to pick up a fresh batch from the concrete plant. He reverses carefully into the loading bay. To load up, Danny has to perfectly line up the hopper with the loading chute. Up in the plant control room, they can create just the right mix for Danny's batch. Then it's time to load up. Whilst he's waiting, Danny tops up the onboard water tank. It's very important to have plenty of water on board, because clever computers inside the mixer test the concrete. They can add more water if it starts to get a bit too dry. It's a bit like porridge. Too dry or too wet, and it's no good. Just like Goldilocks, we want it just right. We're fully loaded, so let's go! Mechanicals! That's a very dangerous place to stand. You should never stand that close to a big truck like this. And even with all his mirrors and cameras, Danny can't see you there if he's turning. It's much safer to stand further away from the mixer. The drum is turning, and we're heading to Danny's customer to drop this load off. At this huge factory, they make massive buildings out of concrete, so they need lots and lots of concrete mixers visiting all the time. Inside the drum, there's blades that mix the concrete as it turns. To empty the load, Danny makes the drum spin the opposite way, which pushes the concrete mix out. The concrete is emptied into this big container, which can be moved around the factory with huge cranes. They're using this mix to build a wall. The concrete is poured into this ready-made mould, which is just the right size for the wall. Just a few days later, and the concrete has properly set. Now it looks a lot more like a wall. The walls are then loaded onto this big lorry, ready to be delivered to the construction site and turned into a building. The last part of the process is for Danny to wash out the hopper, ready for the next batch. Thanks very much to Danny and all the team at Tarmac for teaching us all about these amazing concrete mixers. And thank you for watching. To watch more videos from me, just tap here. For now, it's cheerio from Gecko. Bye! If you love this video, tap here so you're the first to know about my latest videos. Thanks for watching. Bye!